This is Fenris. This is Under a Funeral Moon. Notice the ice cold sound, right? Intentional. Very much so. Very treble guitars like wasps. Fussed up bass, which became rather normal during the 90s and so on. And the drums, where the hi-hat seems to be the loudest thing on the drums, except the floor tom, which is like louder than everything else, actually. I'm saving that floor tom for special occasions on the album. Listen to that really, really loud hi-hat. I stripped down the drum kit for this recording, so there's no toms except the floor tom. Trying to play just on the cymbals and the bass drum, the snare, and the floor tom. No other toms. After Blazing Northern Sky, that was recorded in the summer of 91 in this creative studio in our home place, Kolbotn, where also Death Crush by Mayhem was recorded in 86, 87, and then the Mortem demo was recorded probably in late 89 or early 90. Okay, this was our second chance in that studio. We loved it the first time, but we didn't get to have the same engineer dude in the studio, Erik Aunskog. This time we had Vidar Winter. He was later headhunted to do the sound for the Olympics of Winter Olympics of Lillehammer 94. But this guy was fucking cool, man, because this album sounds really, really strange and really ice cold. And usually engineers in the studio you want to say to them, I want really a lot of bass here, and you wanted to turn the knob to like 9. The engineers, they always have like their own sound in their head and want to abide by that, so they just say, yeah, you can have a little more bass, and then go like, and there's a little more bass. But this guy, even though he was in high regard, he just went all out. And if we ask for more bass or something, which seems like a strange thing because there's almost no bass on this album, but he was really liberal, to say the least. When we had a wish, he would just double that wish. Excellent. Ted wrote this song, and it's the start song on the album, because I had the start song on the album on the Blazing Northern Sky. We started recording this. We recorded it in the summer of 92. That was Natassja in Eternal Sleep. Here comes Summer of the Diabolical Holocaust. We have like 8 seconds between each song. There was another little trick that I had in my mind to make people pay attention between songs. We did like the opposite of Rain in Blood with Slayer, that had like really small gaps between songs. I wanted like 8 seconds. Probably heard that on an old album and thought that was a really great idea. And we did that for quite a few albums. I wrote this in October 92. So we started writing for this album. Oh, that must be some sort of fucking typo, man. Must have been written in October 91, actually. We started after the summer of 91. We recorded A Blaze in Northern Sky, and then we had like probably a couple of months of hiatus, like a holiday, and then we started immediately to work for this album. Now, this album, Under a Funeral Moon, is actually our only pure black metal album. People are always going on about A Blaze in Northern Sky, and I never really understood why, because this is the album. This has the ice cold sound. This has only like 80s vibe black metal But since it came out in 93 and was recorded in 92, people deem it as like the 90s sound. But basically, we were one of the first retro bands, always just wanting to pull the 80s into the 90s. As we knew, in 91, 92, this period of time, no one, or just a few people around the globe, was really paying attention and worshipping likes of Bathory and Celtic Frost. Yeah, this is obviously Mayhem inspired. We were given copies of Live in Leipzig. It wasn't out yet, obviously, on vinyl, but we were given like tape copies so we could listen to what Mayhem had evolved into being since the release of Death Crush, and we were, of course, really inspired by that. This really reminds me of stuff from Live in Leipzig. And after the recording of A Blaze in Northern Sky in summer 91, I told the other guys, we have proven to ourselves we can do this black metal thing now, so I have faith in each of you. Zephyrus, you go do your songs. Nocturnal Culto, you do your songs, and I make my songs. Now we won't write together anymore, we'll just write like separately. And that's what ended up on this album. So all of the songs are written by one of us, like none of the songs are written together. We were probably not fucked up as usual when we recorded this, but we at once we got our takes laid down, then it was like a total boozer and substance abuse ahoy, man. Crazy sessions in creative studios there in our hometown. Typical like black thrash. I've forgotten about this riff. Actually good, and there you can hear the floor tom. That's really extreme soundscape. If I can remember correctly, studio is huge, and we have a effect pedal that's huge, and the amplifier that Seth used was tiny as hell. Fucking funny. Real big ass studio and a tiny ass amp. And again, Ted, Nocturnal Culto, whatever you want to call him, really changed vocals from Blaze in Northern Sky session to this. We never rehearsed with vocals, so it was always really exciting when Ted was doing vocals to see how the vocals would be this time, because it was so different on the three first albums, like Soulside Journey, Death Metal, then Blaze in Northern Sky, that kind of black metal vocal, and Under Funeral Moon, this kind of black metal vocals. Nocturnal Culto wrote this one, The Dance of Eternal Shadows. April 92. It's damn funny there was a typo, man, on the previous song, October 92. It says the music was from, and that's after the album is actually recorded. Took a long time before the album came out, as usual. Like 8 months or so from the recording was done till the album was out. That was always annoying, and still is annoying for us. Like the albums were always like recorded in 90, 91, 92, but what it says like they came out in 91, 92 and 93. This is so not 93 for us, because right after this was recorded we went separate ways. Zephyrus and Nocturnal Culto moved the hell away from Oslo, and we were no longer a rehearsing band at all. Descending! Other complicated riffs compared to my style of riffs. The previous riff, some sort of strange structure that Ted often has. He still has it. He had it a lot on Plague Wielder album, that era too. He always seems to have that sort of strange structure that's in his head, and I have to just fill out how many beats it is on the drums. It's not like logical 4/4 maybe at all. The gods below. Insane lyrics. I was totally possessed this time. 91 and 92, real strong black metal years. And the years before that, I was just leading up to all of this. Damn, there's almost no bass in the drums at all. It's fucking insane. It's a great ending of the song by Ted, actually. Strange, fine. Got these 8 seconds to talk to fill up. What the hell? Okay. Here comes Unholy black metal, right? And that's the battery riff of return era of Bathory, 85, and then this real simple riff right here is probably from the Mayhem Live in Leipzig session, again inspired by that. And this is the Bathory again. Song made in December 91. And I always thought, like, if Sapphirus was still a part of the band, Darkthrone would be like even more primitive than ever. He had a knack for writing the most primitive shit, man. Just like he was happy with just going in one tempo, writing just grim, simple riffs. Nonchalant solo that is just simply saying fuck off. Sort of cooler than a body on ice thing. Fucking awesome. Probably a lot of the vocals were pretty much improvised, actually, as we didn't rehearse with the vocals, and I can never picture myself, Nocturnal Cultist, sitting in his home just rehearsing how to sing or anything like that. It's a spur of the moment thing, and we've often been doing it like that. A lot of stuff is coincidental. We're just winging it, improvising. The wool starts gathering in the open. Drums sounding treble, but still all natural as usual. No plastic at all. Can't remember who actually does solo on this album. Probably was Ted, I'm not sure. Maybe it was Seth. Walk the Infernal Fields right here. I hope it's not Sally Fields we're talking about. One of my less favorite actors in the world. March 1992 I made this. This is obvious Bathory 1987, 1986 influence. From the Undersignable Black Mark. It was also covered by Immortal on the Darkthrone tribute album, which I listened to like 1.5 times because I think cover songs are often boring, and especially listening to my own or our own material being covered, fucking snoozer. But it's still like an honor, but it's still like real boring. No one ever pinned us against the wall and said like, why are you copying Bathory to this extent? But I was real clear in interviews, like I said earlier on this commentary disc, that we really wanted Bathory and Celtic Frost stuff back in the limelight, so to speak. So we were thinking retro and revival of the black flame of the 80s. Just so much better in this track.
I am your disciple, and therefore my own. The weapon I will be, the demons that possess me. We will ride this sentence of death.
Which is, this is kind of strange. This is probably the last Darkthrone song I wrote until I started writing for Transylvanian Hunger like 1.5 years later. You should think that this total Bathory style song here would be written maybe early 91 or something. Instead it was like a year later. This should have been like an obvious song for A Blaze in Northern Sky, I should think. Here it is, the last song that I wrote for this album.
My dearest wishes, stay in pain, holy, holy and weak.
The back of the album has very efficient photographs, very nice frame, simple layouts. All black and white. Again, an album cover with just one of the band members in black and white. And one hell of a puny birch tree in front of it all. Norwegian spruce forest in the background, similar to the Panzerfaust cover. It's Nocturnal Culto on the album cover. It was his turn. Zephyrus was on A Blaze in Northern Sky, and then I was to be on the album after this. However, as the guys moved away after this recording in the summer of '92. Darkthrone seemed to be on hold, and it was on hold until I suddenly just became fucking possessed again in the late autumn, fall of '93, and wrote the Transylvanian Hunger album. That transition right there. And there are additional cymbals pitched down. You can hear in the background. Inspired by Celtic Frost's more ambient tracks from To Mega Therion and Morbid Tales. No doubt. This riff, if you think about it, is actually like Metallica. In this setting, it sounds completely like black metal, but it's a Metallica riff, I think. I mean, it's not one of Metallica's riff, it could be a Metallica riff. Back to Bathory. The echo effect for Nocturnal Cult's vocals here are absolutely gorgeous. I think actually these days Rust from Sweden has that same effect, and it works wonderfully for them as well. You go get their Damned Hellish Voids album. You know what I'm talking about. You hear it. I can't remember the reception from the press or the fans on this album at all. We didn't really read any magazines. There were no internet. We didn't really do mail. I'd done a lot of mail like in 87, 88, 89, 90. And this time, like around 92, oh man, I was definitely living another life, like the rock and roll, legendary life of a rock and roll, black and roll freak, to say the least. So, you know, it wasn't until later than that we sort of we understood that this had become iconic in a way. All the covers and the music style, the coldness of it. Still seems to work for a lot of people. The 8 seconds leading up to the best song I probably did for the black metal period of Darkthrone. Under a Funeral Moon. For crying out loud. It's a mix of Bathory and Hellhammer, that riff. The D-beat is obviously Bathory and the pulling of the string is Hellhammer. And this the breakthrough riff, where the tempo is in half of the other tempo, which is always a clever thing to do. The riff itself is famously inspired by our own, very own copy of the first Vader demo, Necrolust. We had a copy of that tape which was extra treble and with lots of tape hissing. And it's pure, it sounds like pure black metal, black thrash magic when we listen to it. And that main riff of the song, and the tempo goes in half. That riff is pure early Vader. That demo was probably from 88 or 87, I can't remember. Maybe even 89, can't remember now. But we got a hold of it like in 1990 or something. Started listening to it a lot in 91 and 92 and when we were hanging out. And here we go again! No real refrain on this song. This is sort of the refrain without vocals. Battery again. Battery style. God damn it, I should have asked Nocturnal Culto before doing this commentary track who the hell did the lead guitar on this album. Because I feel like Nocturnal Culto is definitely playing the bass, but is he doing any rhythm guitar? Doesn't say so. Can't fucking remember, because as I told you, when I had laid down my tracks, which was the drum tracks, I just get obliterated. This is probably inspired by Mayhem Live in Leipzig session again. This riff right here is sort of similar to the first riff of the Unholy black metal song, which is strange because Zephyrus wrote under Infernal Unholy black metal song, and I wrote this song. By this time, I think Peaceful had accepted our turn for the worse and more insane, and they gave us plenty of money, probably 3,000 quid. We had 2,500 for the recording of Blaze Northern Sky, and even more money here. The album was goddamn expensive, as I told you before. Organic studios, damn expensive, so people went to less organic studios like Sunlight and Morris Sound. Get a cheaper deal, get shitty drum sound and all that. But we had enough money to do this again in Creative Studios. Our last album in Creative Studios, don't even know if anyone is recording there now or has been for the last 15 or 20 years. Sad. Maybe it's one of the last albums recorded in Creative Studios. Beats me, I don't know. Alright, this is probably the best song we ever did in black metal. It was written by Zephyrus, real damn extremely primitive riff, but still it's almost arty in its simplicity. It's difficult riff to sort of follow, the marking of the drums feels strange. I had something to do with setting the tempos, changing a little bit tempos, but it was really all Zephyrus song. his crown achievements in Darkthrone, and also Darkthrone's crown achievement for black metal. I think this song is, and like 20 years afterwards, today, this is what I would DJ if I would DJ any black metal Darkthrone. And in this song, the extremely loud floor tom will win every time. In the Dype Skogers, Favn means into the embrace of the deep forests. That was one of Norway's first songs with Norwegian lyrics. Probably did it at the same time as Burzum did. We didn't know about each other at the time that we were both gonna do that. Here comes the first break. That riff is just pure Hellhammer Motorhead done with a really cold sound, and that means we could take Hellhammer, pull in Motorhead and make black and roll and make that part of black metal. But I really think it was Hellhammer that first started so early by doing black and roll, but no one called it black and roll then. After we'd been doing this for a while, also other bands came too, like Carpathian Forest, and then suddenly people were calling it black and roll. And the riffs go many times, which was really unusual in the 80s. We wanted to try a little bit of monotony, see how that worked, and it worked very well. Burzum did that too, and Von did that well. And Bathory. Bathory, as usual, way ahead of his time, or his time. It was the guys in a Norwegian band called Vomit that once upon a time said that we should start writing in Norwegian. It took some years before we did it. But here in the summer of '92, we were ready. No one seemed to care if we sang in Norwegian or English. People were really just down with this ice cold vibe. Anyway, here we go again with the break. Excellent, like guitar there. Small details. Fantastic feeling. Soon I will play this riff just slower, like really sticking, like this. I think I probably heard that on the winter demo, Servants of the Horsemen. Don't know what the demo was called. Probably came out in '89 or something. Sounded really a lot like Celtic Frost at the time. I remember I used to love doing this. Just taking a riff that was already sort of mid-paced but still slow, if you know what I mean, and then make it even slower. So the last song is about to hit us. Yeah, it's fast, but it's still slow. This is the slowest fast pace I've ever heard. Again, trying here to emancipate, or what the fuck is called, the feeling of 85 Bathory, the Return album, which is really their most abyssic and obscure album. Well, this part right here could have been on the Return album from Bathory, no problem. Yeah, and that riff as well. And they said we were like a 90s band. Fuck that, man. This is pure 85, man. Portland probably wrote it in 84. We're doing nothing new to this either. It's just total abyssic, obscure black metal from 85 worship. You can hear the snare break there. Just straight ahead, ticka 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 ticka, taken from Bloodfire Death album from Bathory. That kind of style. Yeah, again there. And as getting the equipment to the studio and back from the studio, I have no recollection at all how that happened. You'd have to ask Ted sometime or something. I don't know, I'm clueless. I was supposed to be obliterated at the time, it just the memory fails serve me right there on that. Don't even know why that would be interesting. I don't know how much this album sold or has sold. I have never really followed any sort of sales numbers. Clueless about that. But it seems like that people are talking about the Blaze of Northern Sky at Transylvanian Hunger a lot, and they don't talk that much about this album. And that feels strange to me, because this is where we really delivered a pure black metal album. No real, it's not so emotional as Transylvanian Hunger. Probably it's just damn cold. Maybe it was too cold, I don't know what the fuck. Oh, but here again, this is obviously inspired by the Live in Leipzig session from Mayhem. I think that Mayhem played in Leipzig in 1990 or 91, and we got the tape right after, so we listened to that a lot, because it was the only recording we had with Pelle, Dead, singing for Mayhem. So it was it's just magic to listen to that. We've been so inspired by Death Crush by Mayhem earlier, and then came Live in Leipzig that we all had on tapes, and yeah, it inspired probably like 7% of this album. It's not a real church bell, it's not an effect. It was something that I bought for my drum kit, and I didn't know how to use it. It was sort of supposed to be under a symbol or something, and when you played on it like in real time, it would only go like bing. Then I just got the idea that this has a clear tone but a little bit fucked up, since you could beat on it with a drumstick and sort of vibrate it a little bit. And I thought if we would put that on later and then you know, fade the sound with some octave box of some sorts, it would sound like a real mean ass bell. And even the bell here sounds damn cold and strange. The one beat where they go dang and whoa, the end. What the fuck happened there? Yeah, there you had it again. I have no idea what that is. So I thank you for listening. I'm off to soccer practice. I really gotta hurry actually. Have a nice life. See ya. Bye.